the election has made folks crazy. I mean, legitimately crazy. Like, it has turned families against each other. Couple that Lee and I went with last night, we were talking this very thing, and he's like, yeah, my niece has disavowed her entire family that voted for Donald Trump. People have lost their ever-loving minds. And the media is no different. People point to The View and think this is some oddity. The View is not an oddity. The View is basically the public showing of what's going on in every media center in the country. ESPN described as a funeral. Major League Baseball Network, day after the election, described as a funeral. People crying on X. People bawling on Instagram. Crazy, threatening. It's all insane. Noted, and I think formerly respected CBS NFL insider Jason La Canfora is no different. The boy's lost his ever-loving head. He has lost his mind and gone, well, this might be the worst insult I can give you, but he's going straight Olbermann-esque. Say it ain't so. You can go a lot of things, but don't go straight political Olbermann-esque. He's having a meltdown online over Donald Trump winning the election and, more narrowly, his recent cabinet picks. Apparently, nobody's good enough for Jason La Canfora. And apparently, when you go to journalism school, which I assume he did, I don't know, they give you a badge that says media. You apparently know everything. No, you do. You know everything about everybody. He's enraged by Trump's nomination of Pete Hegseth, who, by the way, the more you learn about Pete Hegseth, holy cow, is he impressive. Wow, I want to date him. No, he's Secretary of Defense. He's retweeting a post calling Hegseth the epitome of white privilege. There you go. Jason La Canfora, again, once a respected journalist, you see him on your TV. He has a very big presence, or did, online. Wendell Pierce, who, well, he's in Suits, so he must know a lot of stuff. Pete Hegseth is the epitome of white privilege. A weekend anchor on Fox and Friends, a major in the National Guard, will be the head of the most powerful military in the history of the world. The military is supposed to be apolitical. Pete Hegseth is purely political. Together with Trump, they want to purge woke generals. That is un-American. No, it's not. Everything's un-American. Like, everything you don't like is un-American. That's the route we go. I mean, we've seen the most un-American regime in the history of America over the last 4 years. But boy, oh boy, don't do anything they don't like. Nah, Pete Hegseth, you know the story. Bronze Star. Dude's a war hero, a couple deployments. He is a major. He's got all kind of badges for all kind of heroic type deals. Don't even try it. Oh, just shut up. And we do need to get rid of the woke. We need a strong military. Here's the deal with the woke generals. I've paid attention to this. I really have. Paid attention to this to find out what's the real problem. And the problem is morale. The problem is you are allowing, and this is the way most things go, a very small subset of people within our military to overlap and piss off everybody else. You call it whatever you want. But the number one thing with the military, other than its obvious strength, hold on, you understand that, I'm assuming, is morale. You know, think about what you're asking people to do. You are asking people to put their life on the line for others, most of whom don't really appreciate you putting your life on the line. You're always ready. You stand a call. You know, when you leave and go somewhere, I don't care where it is, family members suffer. They worry. They stress. I know plenty of fathers and mothers whose kids were assigned over in Desert Storm, and I talk to a bunch of them all the time, and the stress is unbearable. Morale is most important. And these woke generals and all this woke garbage that we've had in our military has affected morale. If you don't believe me, just pay attention. So Jason La Canfora, he doesn't like this. And some little actor in Hollywood, Wendell Pierce, he doesn't like it. Okay, good. Good. Here is a La Canfora Trump tweet. The sickest That's strong language. Thing about this country, he tweets. In generations is Donald Trump. He's a one-man plague. History will treat him as it treats disposed and failed dictators. See, guys like La Canfora are so dug in that they don't understand, or maybe they just forget, that the man already had a 4-year regime. Now, I know the answer to that. Well, there's no guardrails this time. Well, he doesn't have to worry about being reelected or answering to people. I think if you look at the people he is putting in with him, I think you should rest easy, but not La Canfora. Oh, no. Not La Canfora. He mad about everything. Now, let's go back to La Canfora. A breakdown of how shitty his NFL reporting was in the past. So if you're shitty at your job that you're paid to do, all of a sudden we're supposed to believe you in other areas that you're not paid to do? Nah, I don't think so. Nah, not my thing. No. CBS Sports replaced La Canfora with some blogger named Jonathan Jones in 2022. Before that, La Canfora was the laughingstock of the NFL media. His scoops were so inaccurate, so consistently wrong, that there are entire web pages dedicated to his reporting blunders. Here's a few examples. La Canfora. I expect Vic Fangio and Ed Donatel to agree to join the Skins coaching staff by Tuesday a.m. Would be very surprised if they did not. Here's what happened. Fangio signed with the Bears the very next day. See, you got to get these things right when you're in the insider business. You do. I make fun of it, but I'm in the entertainment business. You got to get these things right, at least a little right. Example, La Canfora. However, I'd be pretty shocked to see an Andrew Gase reunion with former Denver coach Fox. Reality, Gase signed with the Bears. Fox, 2 days later. La Canfora also hasn't been the most honest. La Canfora and CBS claim he spoke to Colin Kaepernick about his national anthem protests and relayed the information on CBS's NFL Today. But, as the Big Lead reported, Kaepernick never sat down with La Canfora. What are you doing? You can't BS your way, not with dogs out there like Adam Schefter. You can't BS your way through this, people. Jay Glazer, the mighty might, will come at you. No. After the report, Kaepernick shared an entry from radio personality Charlemagne the God, saying that Kaepernick never spoke to La Canfora, but simply bumped into him in a hotel lobby. Big if true and corrupt. Now, all that's great, but it's just another example of the craziness of media. You know, if it doesn't go their way, now I want you to think about that. If it doesn't go their way, why do they have a way? Like, if you're going to do your job, now here, obviously, we have a way. We are here to protect the world and defend the world against the woke. Yesterday, I wore an OutKick sweatshirt on the air, and this is the pig that I am. I wore it on the air, then I worked out in it, and then I wore it to this, not fancy, I knew the kind of reception, but I wore it to this reception. Go woke, go broke. I can't tell you the amount of people that came up to me saying, Dan, I love that shirt. Where do you get it? OutKick.com. I'm always working, yo. We stand on business on this show. But see, here's the deal. La Canfora and CBS allegedly aren't supposed to be crazy. CBS got rid of him, well, because of what I just read. But that doesn't stop guys like La Canfora from melting down over politics, and I'm here for all of it. Oh, no. I'm here for all of it. The Indy Star, a famously left-wing rag, continues on the path. Orange man bad. Orange bad. Republican winners, governor, attorney general, bad. Everybody should get on my side, even though everybody historically is on the other side. How about that? An historic win for the great republic. See that? I didn't say Republican Party. I said the Republic. And now I love the fallout. And it does not miss the sports community, assuming we can call La Canfora the sports community. Man, good stuff. Ex-NFL quarterback kind of going the opposite. Ex-NFL quarterback and recently exiled from ESPN, Robert Griffin III. Well, he is looking for answers in the wake of the 2024 presidential election. And he's come to a huge epiphany. If there were a light above my head, you would see it. Boom, the light turned on. And Robert Griffin III, he's like, yo, I got this figured out. He's calling on those who voted for president-elect, a group of 75 million people. All right? 75 million people. He says, Robert Griffin III does, calling those 75 million people bigots, basically what our friend Ryan Clark, did. I like doing that. Ryan Clark, Dakich, Dan Dakich. Well, Clark, in his post that we documented yesterday, basically, did call 75 million people, a.k.a. those that voted for Trump, bigots. Basically with an umbrella. No, Robert Griffin wants joy and peace and bringing people together, a.k.a. unity. That's right. He wants to bring them together, and he feels like calling, the majority of the country that voted bigots. Ain't the way to do it. And he's right. Here it is. Dear America, this is a safe space. Calling any of the 75 million Americans who voted for Donald Trump bigots is not how you unite people. How would you build a community where Black, white, Native American, Hispanic, Asian, and all people celebrate their unique cultural backgrounds and beliefs without divisiveness? Yeah. Griffin responded to criticism from the like of MSNBC's Joe Scarborough and Reverend Al that Black and Hispanic men were misogynist and to blame for Harris's loss. It's unbelievable. Like, everybody that doesn't buy what you're selling is a misogynist and ist, some kind of thing. Like, Reverend Al just needs to go the fuck away. Excuse my language, Mom. I know you're watching. But he does. Enough giving that grifting punk grace. Enough letting him out of jail for the tax evasion calls. Enough giving him $1 million to hang out and talk about Kamala Harris. Enough of this guy. Now, seriously, this guy's been a barnacle on the ass of America for long enough. Hey, you want us to come out and protest? That'll be $35,000. That was actually Jesse Jackson's fee back in the day. I'm sure Sharpton's still doing it. And when this crazy tax evader gets talking, literally nobody listens. He should literally go the fuck away. Excuse me, Mom, I did it again. He makes me nuts. I mean, how long is the grift? How long is the sting going to happen with this jackass? Does he have any suck? Does he have any power left? Now, screw you and screw Joe Scarborough. Good for you, Robert Griffin III. I mean, these guys get on there, and everybody that didn't vote the way we want are misogynists. How about the candidates sucked? The ideas sucked. That would be too simple. That would go against what you idiots say. And make no mistake, Reverend Al, you are a fucking idiot. Now, you're smart in the fact that you've used your blackness to get your ass out of tax evasion charges, and you have preyed on the African-American community for far too long. Now you have. You had a use back in the day when you were legit. Now, all you're doing is this kind of garbage. Don't do what I do. I got a name call. It's all about misogynist or racist or sexist. Good for Robert Griffin III telling you all stick it. Griffin responded to the criticism. Black men do support black women. Stop tearing down and blaming black men for everything under the sun when it comes to black women. He's right. This was nothing to do. Hell, you could make the argument, and most did, that Kamala Harris wasn't even black. You can make the argument that Kamala Harris avoided being labeled as black for a long time until she felt that she could use it. People that are educated, not people that are grifters, not people that are morons, not people that are trying to get that Kaepernick money, people of common sense like Robert Griffin III call this shit out, and rightfully so. And good for Robert Griffin III. See, I believe this is a direct shot at Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark went through this whole stupidity. He hires a film crew. He looks pensive as he talks, and he called basically Trump and all of us that voted for him bigots. Kiss my ass. The bigot is in your mirror. The bigot has always been in your mirror. Don't try to act like you're smarter than us, is what Robert Griffin is saying to Ryan Clark. Don't try to act like you can go on there and with some dumbass guy stupid enough to take your money for videotaping you, or maybe smart enough, you go on there and because you want to be some kind of L. Sharpton the third, the second, whatever, you're going to call Americans, all of us, 75 million, bigots. My ass. My ass. And good for Robert Griffin III. You don't bring a country together by doing the crap that whoever the Joe Scarborough is or what L. Sharpton has done for years. You do it by simply saying, let's examine why people voted. Not who voted, what color are they. Why? Why did Latina men double? Why did African American men double this election cycle? The answer is very simple. We got tired. Got tired of paying too much at the grocery store. Got tired of being called names. They got tired of seeing a candidate that refuses to answer questions. See, when you say African American, Latino men, Asian men, and men in general should simply vote for this thing that they trotted out of there, Kamala Harris, you, by actually saying that, are very racist against us, very sexist against us, whatever words you want to use against us. You're saying we can't think for ourselves. And we must just, like you, follow a company line, a race line, a sex line. Nah, men are smart as hell, and men have had enough. We've had enough being bullshitted by bad candidates. We had enough with Clinton. We actually had enough with the human vegetable that is Biden. Certainly had enough with the Biden regime. If you have a brain and you are unbiased and you are a United States citizen, there's no chance, man or woman, lesbian, gay, straight, trans, whatever the hell you are, if you are informed, unbiased, and a U.S. citizen, you simply could not vote for Harris, period. Under no circumstances could you vote for Harris. And they didn't. We didn't. So shut up. Shut up, all of you. And do what Robert Griffin III says. Black men do support black women. Stop tearing down and blaming black men for everything under the sun when it comes to black women. I would also argue, stop blaming people for your horseshit candidate. Stop blaming anybody that you can possibly find for trotting someone out there that never got a vote in a primary, that was, with the background she had, the worst candidate ever put in front of us. Didn't win anything in the primary, had no plan, no press conferences, nothing interesting, mocked universally, and yet it's on men to vote for her dumbass. Au contraire, my sweet. You got what you deserve, which actually is what happens in real life. Kirby Smart had a player that, after they lost, was celebrating with the opponent. Now, I saw the tape, and I'm like, that guy's an idiot. I'd kick him off. Turns out he's celebrating with his lifelong best friend, and he only did it for a second. He called his own player, Jake Pope, an idiot after he was seen on camera celebrating with an Ole Miss player who was a high school teammate of his after the Rebels of Ole Miss beat the Dogs of Georgia this weekend. Here is where Kirby Smart called young Pope an idiot.
Yeah, what an idiot. Just stupid. I didn't see it till today, but he's embarrassed about it. He's upset about it. That's obviously a childhood friend of his. He grew up, played with there at Buford, and knows him, hadn't seen him in forever, but just not real smart. But to be honest with you, I don't have time to waste energy on that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like my focus is on Tennessee. I'm not worried about that.
Fair. That's fair. What are you talking about? That's fair. But then he apologized. Then somebody in the hierarchy must have said, you can't call football players idiots publicly. It's not right. Mommies and daddies are mad. Here's the apology. Don't apologize.
Yeah,
never complain.
I don't like to comment on the
explain.
Internal stuff going on inside. He did talk to the team, did a great job. I'll say I should not have called the kid an idiot. That was a mistake by me, but I I appreciate Jake. He is a great kid. He works really hard. He's a team player. I think he knows it was a emotional mistake, and he told the team that. So I appreciate the way he handled it.
No. Kirby Smart thinks he's an idiot. The team thinks he's an idiot. Well, maybe not the team, because kids these days don't care that much. They're too busy worrying about, are we going to have a jersey swap after the game? No, he's an idiot. And Kirby Smart was well within his rights. See, in the modern era of everybody getting paid, and I don't know whether this kid's getting paid or not, screw him. We need a little toughness in this world. If you're going to lose a big game and you are in the opposing team, the losing team's uniform, you are not to dance in celebration of your team's loss. Period. It ain't that hard. This is an issue that only idiots do. Now, let me say that again. Smart kids don't do this. I don't care about the apology. I don't care about after the fact. No. Idiots do this. Now, is the kid an idiot? No. Did he act idiotic? Yes. And as an adult, as a coach, you are obligated to call out idiocy. Well, he shouldn't do it public. Sure, he should have. Why not? I mean, nobody's going to die here. Nobody's going to get upset. Nobody's going to go into depression. Oh, my God, I can't handle it. I need a teddy bear, a coloring book, and I'm going to shart myself. No. Don't want to hear about it. Good for you. Don't apologize. What are you doing? Joel Embiid, hey, he returned to the lineup in a loss to the Knicks. How about that? 13, 2 of 11 shooting, and 3 rebounds, and Shaq was quick to blast. Shaq ain't having it, man. Now, remember, famously, Shaq got fat as hell and rode the pine for the Celtics and the Cavaliers. I'd forgotten all about that. But as Shaq continues to go in on Embiid, people keep showing those pictures. But look, Shaq's on TV now. Shaq's on Papa John's commercials. They've given him the whole franchise because Papa John went a little rogue. I think. I can't remember all that Papa John did, but it was really stupid. Anyway, Shaq was quick to blast a performance, stating Joel Embiid will never win a championship until he gets his mind and his attitude right. Boy, is he right about that. Shaq ain't playing. Here's Shaq.
In New York, it's a tough city to play, but this was the fear I had for Joel Embiid. You announced arrogantly, I'm not playing back-to-back, Sonny. I'm not injured, but I'm sore. I come in when I want to come back. Now, when you say things like that, you're supposed to come back with extra energy. 0 for 3, I'd have been 0 for 15. But you know what y'all have said? Hey, Shaq's not playing well, but he's playing aggressive. So the plan that they're having, it's not working. And not only that, I say this respectfully. Joel Embiid will never win a championship until he gets his mind and his attitude right.
I say this respectfully. That's one of my beautiful things. My guy, Aaron Brockett, when he has to say something, he's the pastor at Traders Point Christian Church. I'm going to start using this. I say this lovingly. And I say this respectfully. Joel Embiid, you're making a mockery of basketball. Actually, that's hard to do, Joel, because the NBA is a tough watch. Guys look like girls. Sometimes you can't tell whether or not you're watching a women's game or you're watching a men's game. It's all about jacking up three-pointers. But even you, Joel Embiid, if you can believe it, with your stupidity, you're making a mockery. Out of basketball, out of NBA basketball, Ryan Mueller, who watches this show, can you believe that somebody could actually make a mockery out of basketball? NBA basketball. Do you know what a slap you got to be able to do that? I mean, you got to get down. I mean, way down in the bowels, in the kidneys, in the intestines of basketball to be so ridiculous that you're making a mockery of an already mocked league, the NBA. But Embiid is doing it, and I applaud Shaq for calling him out. Speaking of making a mockery, speaking of, did we make a mistake paying this guy way too much money? We refer back to the great Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon is currently the owner of one of the worst contracts ever given in Major League Baseball history. Anthony Rendon, even the general manager of the team, Perry Minasian is making some noise with the signing, saying nothing is set in stone with the starting job at third base. Rendon, man, this dude was paid hundreds of millions. Here's the general manager.
What kind of conversations, and maybe you can't give us the specifics on conversations, but maybe looking forward, what kind of conversations have you had and are going to have with Anthony Rendon? Because we've seen how the story's gone, and
right.
like how has he received the things that you have talked to him about?
I mean, Anthony knows what type of player he is when he's healthy. So we need him healthy. We need him on the field. He knows that. He knows the expectations coming into camp. And we talked about it. He's going to have to come in and show us he can still play and earn the right to play every day. So are we a better team with Anthony Rendon on the field? Absolutely. Do we need a healthy Anthony Rendon that is that dynamic hitter in the box and, one of the highest aptitudes as far as feel for the game playing today? Yes, we need it. He's well aware of that. He's going to do everything he can this offseason to come in ready to go, and we'll see where he's at.
Anthony Rendon is making $35 million a year. Let's go through the decline. And this isn't even the big thing. No. The big thing is Rendon has been very public, even though, let me say it again, he's making $35 million. They signed him to a 7-year, $245 million contract. Now, I went, okay, there's 24-3, that's 335. That's, I don't know, $35 million. Anyway, Rendon's decline, which has played a major role in the Angels' losing seasons, has been stunningly quick and incomprehensible. Well, it's been comprehensive. After hitting 34 home runs and being a part of a really good Nationals team that I bet early in the season to win the World Series, and they did, Rendon, after signing this big contract, has hit a combined 22 in 5 seasons in Anaheim. Between 23 and 24, he hit just 2 in 100 games. After 3 consecutive years batting average over 100 with the Nats in Washington, Rendon hasn't hit above 240 since 2020. Not to mention his very public comments about his disinterest in baseball. He listed baseball way down the list of things that are priorities to him. Now, I got to tell you, that may be true. God, faith, and family. You know what I mean? All that stuff. I get it. But you don't say it, particularly in the Biden economy, particularly in California, where it feels like, well, half of the state is living richly, if that's a word, and the other half is living on the street. You're making $35 million a year. You can at least fake it to the crowd that you love playing. It's interesting. Anybody heard? I know Nick's a baseball guy. Has anybody heard from Chris Bryant ever since he left the Cubs and signed a mega deal with the Colorado Rockies? Anyone heard a peep? Hell no. Man, you got to be careful. You got to be careful rewarding these guys. You do. Anthony Rendon, the only thing he's done in the last few years, I think, is go after a fan and say stupid things. I mean, what are you doing? This is unbelievable. Now, I'm going to preface this last thing by saying they wanted her to lead our economy. Let me say this again. They wanted her, Kamala Harris, to lead the budget, the economy, the stock market. Whoa, this will give you a headache. A week after Harris got blown out and literally in every conceivable way. I mean, in the porn industry, this would be whatever. Anyway, ex-NASCAR star Danica Patrick is ready to reveal exactly how much the Trump campaign paid her. And let's compare it to the liberal, well, this looks like money laundering to me, and it ain't much. Danica Patrick. All the events, rallies, interviews, social posts, I did it for free. I actually spent a fair amount of time on wardrobe. But to be fair, I can't twerk it up. It all adds up. Now look at what Muse sent out. This only cost Kamala Harris $5 million. Let's go through it. Kamala Harris's payments, $10 million to Beyonce, $5 million to that clown Megan Thee Stallion, $3 million to big fat Lizzo so she can eat Cheetos, corn chips, and ho-hos, $1.8 million to Eminem, $1 million to Oprah. She raised over $1 billion and ended up $20 million in debt. This is the same woman that claimed she was going to fix the economy. Now, here's what Oprah had to say when she was confronted on her $1 million payment. Listen to the words specifically, and I'll explain later. Here we go.
Hey Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election, thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about it.
Do you think Prince Harry's gonna lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
Yeah, so the wording, I was not paid anything ever, except there are public records that show that, well, Harpo was. What? Apparently, they paid her production company. That's not putting a check in Oprah's pocket directly, but seems like it's the same thing. Good for Oprah. I mean, by the way, Oprah, sweetie, you need the lights. Honey, baby. You need Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand doesn't go anywhere without her lighting. You need to be like Babs. Is Oprah leaving the country? Is Oprah going to go by way of Babs? Is she leaving the country? Oprah Winfrey, my ass. I'm going to go through this again. You raised $1 billion, Kamala Harris did, and you ended up $20 million in debt. This was a money laundering scheme. This was a way to get all these different groups money. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they part of a money laundering scheme, in my view. I mean, look at the amount of money. $1 million is a lot of money. And you paid Oprah $1 million for what? Some gibberish-laden interview? 1.8 to Eminem to do what? I mean, Lizzo's fat ass, I don't know what the hell she's doing. Megan Thee Stallion got up there and screwed air, and Beyonce didn't even perform. Hey, I'll get you 10 mil, man. We got a lot in these coffers. Here's the scam. No, it's unbelievable. These people are shameless. Hey, look, if someone came to me and said, I'm going to pay you $1.8 million and I want you to really endorse Donald Trump, I'd be like, all right. If someone came to me and said, I'll give you $1.8 million and I want you to endorse Kamala Harris, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't do it. I'd turn down more money than that over principle, over $3.5 million at West Virginia. But these people have no shame. They don't. These people, Harris and her people, are simply grifters, money launderers. If you were, I just want you to think about it because I try to think of all sides. If you were someone that they came to and you wrote a big-ass check to Kamala Harris and you saw this, would you ever write a check again to the Democratic candidate for president? I mean, you got to be really, really sure. I got to tell you, man, this is astounding to me. And let's go back to the other part. This woman, I'm betting anything you'd like, when the biography comes out, if there's a real one, when the story of this election gets written, which it'll probably be in a day or two by some writer, if it's true, if it's unbiased, I guarantee you, you are going to see incompetence like you've never seen before. I guarantee you in the Harris campaign, you're going to see grift and stealing and laundering and unorganization and bitching, whining, and moaning like you have never seen in the political arena. I guarantee it. It's astounding, really. You know, I started thinking about this back a few months ago when ex-staffers that worked for Harris talked about how lazy she was, how unorganized she was, how she would come to meetings incredibly unprepared and then bitch, whine, moan, and yell at those that called her out on being unprepared, or in ways that are very easy to do when somebody's unprepared in a meeting, you know this, made fun of her unpreparedness. No, it's glorious. I'm telling you, I can't wait. No, I really can't wait. When the book is written on this campaign, starting with Joe Biden and the decision by all, including Harris, including by our nation's legacy media to hide the fact that we have a vegetable in the Oval Office, starting with that, working through the coup that got Biden out of there, into the story of Harris and all the stupid stuff that she and her staff did, continue to do, will never stop doing, lining their own pockets and that of others, and all of the dysfunction. It's going to be fascinating. Problem you have is who's going to write the book? The Mad Jacker? I don't think so. Anybody from CNN? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know who the perfect person is to write a book on this. I don't. I honestly don't. But it is going to be fascinating. Yeah, no, it is. Jeffrey Tuber, by the way, is the Mad Jacker, if you didn't know. Now you know. But anyway, it's a fascinating world out there, and I can't wait. If anybody is good enough, smart enough, unbiased enough to write the book of this campaign. Tell you what, in a lot of circles, you do this with campaign money, you waste it like that, people should go to jail.